I know there's a lot of theories that there wouldn't be any museums because everything's going to be AI. AI has taken over everything. Eventually, I mean, who knows?
I don't think we're very good at anticipating the unintended consequences. And I'm not the first person to make this comparison, but the Gutenberg revolution unleashed, the Reformation and hundreds of years of wars in Europe. It was bloody. It was, and talk about misinformation. If you look back and how that made the vast majority of people in Europe literate in a generation. It went from a tiny, tiny subgroup of people, scribes in monasteries being literate, to sort of mass literacy. That's a good thing. But the social cost in the short term was enormous. So the question is, do we figure out these social norms? Because it's very difficult to put the genie back in the bottle.
I think about this in terms of whether an artist sees AI as an extension of their creativity or not, basically. I don't think that AI is going to necessarily replace human creativity. I think that's quite impossible, actually. But I think optimistically about it in the sense that it can augment and enhance certain practices. An example that I often use is this idea that everyone has a camera in their pocket, but that doesn't make everyone a photographer. And I still believe we've yet to see the Duchampian moment really come through with artificial intelligence, where an artist has come through and really broken that wide open and shown us what AI can do to sort of subvert our expectations.
I mean, like you said, even with photography, the first 20, 30 years of photography, it was just seen as a lesser form of painting. And whenever people would photograph, they would just make painting compositions, like women draped in Greek, robes, and they would photograph exactly how they painted. There was no distinction, just a different medium. And I see the same thing with AI right now.
Early on, I realized that I can't compete with art of the past, with the history. So living in the Bay Area, where tech is always sprouting and being invented, I chose to use the technology that was being made as it was being made, or sometimes before it was even made, to do work that talked about our time.
I found AI to be extremely, extremely hard because I realized that it's extremely difficult to get away from yourself. Because when you're outside, there are these surprise elements that happen, which is what I like about photography. But in AI, it's just your thoughts and your ideas, and your ideas are usually just, when I say yours, I mean mine. They're very, as I found out, very cliche and not very interesting, because I just could not get away from this generic repetition of my photography ideas. I cannot see it yet as a new medium, and that's fascinating to me. I feel like with enough time and training and putting my mind specifically to that task, I would be able to kind of open the door to what you can do with AI.
I do believe in craft, right? And it's not just craft in execution, it's craft in thinking. And craft is built over time. It isn't instant. And so this is why, it takes these new grammars to emerge over time for new technologies. If the technology is moving too quickly, where people can't spend enough time in them to create a grammar, then that might present its own problems. So all of these mediums, they sort of like sediment pile up on top of each other, but they remain and have value in themselves. The ones at the top of that, on those sort of sedimentary layer, are the ones that are hard to grasp right now because they're so ephemeral, and to pull them down and to craft them and spend enough time exploring the edges of these mediums, we just haven't had time. And the question is, will we have time before they move on to something else?
For me, a great work of art is one that's not a one-liner. Okay, I get it. Move on. It's a work of art is one that compels you to stay and look, and come back and look. And if you live with it in your own home, you live with it because you're always getting something out of it.
But one of the functions of art is not just to entertain, or is not to entertain, it's actually to move us and open a door in our brains and in our hearts that perhaps we didn't know that door existed there. And I think art is really one of the rare tools that has that capacity to do that.